A beginning teacher should provide a dynamic balance between theory and practice.
There's many things a beginning teacher needs to know before they start teaching. One of the most important things is having a good understanding of the tools and things you're going to be using when you get into the classroom. When I first started teaching, and allow me to tell a small anecdote about myself, I was thrown into a classroom that had a special sound editing suite that I had never used before. In the first lesson, I was expected to use that, but I didn't know how to. So, before you get into a classroom, it's always a good idea to understand the software you're about to use.
A beginning teacher should also have a solid grounding and knowledge of film texts and film analysis theory.
Teachers, or beginning teachers I should say, also need to have a good understanding of current filming techniques. At the recent Oscar Awards, people saw that a movie about a bomb disposal unit won the Oscar. Movies from the 80s, similar to Flashdance, are not in anymore.
The major challenges to being a media teacher is resources. Resources and more resources. You might be rocking up to a school that has one camera, or you might be going to a school that has a really excellent facility. So you have to be able to adapt your assessment items to exactly what you've got in the school. A way to address these resource issues is to make sure that your senior executives have a good 5-year plan to enable you to really build on these resources that you have to then enable you to grow with the school and to create a really good media department.
I've already had that question.
And we're doing the challenges.
Oh, challenges! There's this notion that some people have that film is indeed a blood subject, where all the students do is sit around and watch films. Teachers at some schools also believe in this. It's not so. This is one of the myths that you, as film teachers, are going to have to work hard to dispel, and work hard you must.
A media teacher must work within the resources they have. Think outside the box and adapt. There are many rewarding aspects to teaching media to students. The first is seeing the shy students who really had no confidence with equipment to start to gain some confidence by the end of the semester. The other is being able to have energy and love for the subject and impart that energy and love to the students.
When you see the whole process of a film being made and the students that are just really engaged in the filmmaking process, I think for me that's one of the most rewarding aspects of the role, because while they may not have been really engaged at the project at the start, even if you tried to make it really exciting for them, by the end of it they are just really switched on and keen about film.
It's really great to see the students understand film knowledge by the end of the semester, and in particular to see a film not just as an entertainment vehicle, but as a mode of art. If a laptop is going to be provided for every student in the future, it's important to consider how the film equipment you have in your school will be compatible with the laptops that will be provided. It's also important to understand that the laptops may not actually arrive for a very long time.
Technology is a wonderful thing. The digital revolution that is coming about is really influencing the way our students work in our classroom. They have access to cheaper cameras. They have access to the internet. There are full sites called YouTube that students can look at any time. They can also publish their own videos on this site. So the exposure for these students who are interested in film is, the magnitude is just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
The major things a beginning teacher should know, particularly in the IB, which is where I work, is to understand and appreciate the MYP strand within the media section. So that's very important firstly.
Some people think that this is a map of the entire world. It's not, it's just Australia! I teach in an international school with the International Baccalaureate. In my film classes, it's really important that I take these international perspectives in and show the students film from different cultures so that their understanding and appreciation of people from different places around the world are there.
There are many advantages to teaching within the International Baccalaureate structure, particularly regarding its flexibility. Within the arts strands, you have strand A, B, C and D, and these strands allow you to really teach anything within those strands that you like, as long as you address the criterion.
Well, if you are trying to overcome the myth of film being a bludge subject, as previously mentioned, it's really important that you introduce all the assessment tasks to the students in the first lesson so they know what they're going to be up against. I also think it's important that you choose relevant and engaging films for the students, because zebras and documentaries about Alfred Hitchcock, for example, students these days just don't find that interesting.
Incorporating an international outlook in the IB seems quite easy on the outset. However, you need to make sure that the rating that you're giving to the children or the students is appropriate for their age group. So although there are some fabulous Asian films out there, you need to make sure that they're not M15 plus and you're showing them to year 8s. At the same time, an international outlook is very important for the IB, and in particular it's really great to show as many films as possible with a really wide base. Media, IT, IPP, film. You can do it. It's important when employing an international outlook in media studies that you ensure that the films that you show are the right, sorry, what was the name for it? PG, what's it called? Sorry Karen, I have to do this again. The next thing that a beginning teacher should understand is that they need to really use the There are many advantages to teaching within the International Baccalaureate structure, and those advantages are key in its... A beginning teacher should also have a solid grounding... Oh no, I said it wrong. Beginning teacher. It is also really wonderful to see that...
Time is a bludge subject! Cut that one. I meant film is a bludge subject.